damage report. So, I just recorded like an hour's worth of videos that didn't get, that didn't have the microphone on. So, and now I got to start this stuff all over again. So, where to start here? I'll go look at my videos. So, well, the one good thing is I should be able to streamline my story. Okay, so anyhow, I might as well look at this one here. So, you see that one there? It says crocus, croak us. Actually means croc us. That's why I have this thing that says croc us. So, this is Pennywise. He's the nemesis of Maturin. Turtle explained, and this is a croc. So. The Maturin is a representation of the grandmother that's inside of me, and I'm the croc, meaning the turtle is a herbivore, the croc is a carnivore, the turtle is a what do you call it, the turtle is nice, the crocodile is, natural born killer. So this song here is Screaming in the Night. It refers to grandmother and I being like croc us, or we're a combination. But you wouldn't understand what that means unless you see this drawing here. So that's just something I seen on my wall. Like I drew a lot of them. Like if you look at my walls, I have all this stuff on them, right? These are the 3 blind mice. That's a representation of the AI. This is a representation of my evil primordial children who are running around as Peter Pan in the good universe. This is a representation of the planets that they've constructed there. In I would say in and around probably the android universe and the human universe where the teenagers live, as being unsuspecting planets where every 20,000 years these androids or my evil primordial son goes over there and pretends to be the almighty Caucasian god that created everything. And then they go and play this propaganda tape of me here waging spiritual warfare, so that entire planet can, witness what has transpired here in an attempt to bring down evil. But the way they've structured it, they've created it as a propaganda tool to enlist innocent civilians who have no idea what's going on. The people over here who are blind, they actually believe that these aliens that come there and visit them every 20,000 years are the creators, and that I'm Satan, and that they need to enlist in the army to come down here and get rid of me. That's what they've been told. So they play the tape and say, "See how bad he is? See what he says? See what he does?" So they try to showcase their technology by recording all of this one eye and this one ear, because all they've done is they've flown to the edge of the universe, and they put a satellite array outside the universe, which that satellite array basically is a series of lasers. It connects to the our soul particle that's revolving around outside the universe. So they have that satellite array there, and then it bounces from outside to inside the universe, where it connects to the nearest star closest to the edge of the universe. And once it touches that star, like the black hole at the bottom of the star, there's another relay system. So the minute those lasers touch there, or possibly, I would say the lasers are probably faster than radio waves. So the lasers would touch that bottom of the black hole, and the evil grandmother would she would know or I bet you they probably got like they probably have another satellite array near the black hole, but close enough where it doesn't get sucked into the black hole. Um, so the lasers would touch that receiver, and then from there it probably broadcast back into radio waves. The radio waves would touch the evil grandmother at the bottom of the black hole, and then she could send a message from star to star to star, which would reach the galaxy's supermassive black hole, and then grandfather would pass it from galaxy to galaxy to galaxy until that reached the planet's core here, where it would be transformed into um, something digital, so that the AI could understand, our thoughts and thought processes. So it would enter the hard drive, and she would get the messages ones and zeros, and then would turn it into information. So basically, she has free range to think anything she wants us to think. So if you come across fear or doubt or disgust, that's coming from her. Like all she has to do is think in her mind. Fear, doubt, and disgust, and it comes a thought in your mind. And because she's a quantum computer and meshed with a primitive AI technology that was created by mankind, that quantum computer, because they run them in series, allows her to think what everybody in creation is thinking. She knows what everyone in creation is thinking at this very second, and that gives her a god complex because she feels like she's better than everyone. Like she's just a regular human walking around, but imagine a human walking around, but being able to understand what everyone's thinking at this exact moment, because that AI can do that, and that's what makes her vain. So if she wanted to put a thought in her head or make us do something, all she had to do is think it, and that message would get sent out of the planet, will bounce from the planet to probably to the star, and then from the star will bounce back along star to star to star, galaxy to galaxy to galaxy, star to star to star, until it reaches the satellite array, where then we get sent back outside the brain as a laser signal, which would become a thought in your brain. So this AI, because there's a connection to our souls, is able to connect to our brains, like because she's in the brain universe. So because the brains are a series of electrical impulses, she can basically record whatever's going on in our eye here and whatever's going on in the ear here. She can record the sound and sight. And my evil primordial son has tricked these unsuspecting civilians over here on this planet here that's a requirement to help to help police all creation. They're basically saying we had to create a quantum computer and mesh it to our brains to keep track of everyone, so that we know that everyone's being good. And these unsuspected people here who believe them to be their mom and dad and believe them to be the creators, Caucasian creators, they believe it because they've never seen. Well, they've seen me on the tapes, but they don't know that I'm the good guy. These dummies have only shown them the bad side of me, So how to put it so it's like propaganda. Make people believe that we need a quantum computer that can record stuff through our eyes, through our ears, so that these civilians here will stay in line, right? If they see a propaganda tape of me waging spiritual warfare here, and using my voice and screaming in the night, because that's what I do. I scream to high heaven. I go rah as loud as I can, and I do that because I want those sound waves to penetrate my ear and turn into frequencies that will eventually just shake apart a person's soul, suck the life force from them, or it'll shatter an android's molecular sized Neuralink. It'll just break it apart because life imitates art. So these guys, they on their perverted worlds where they're at, like these pedophile androids here and these pedophile clowns here, when they're running around as kids, like Peter Pan, they actually are, doing, imagine being able to do whatever you want is like I don't know, like a kid driving down the road as a kid, or going to the bar as a kid, right? You know, going to the movies as a kid. Imagine an entire planet full of kids doing whatever the hell they want, because that's what's going on over here. And these Android universes, and where my evil teenagers are. But they're not teenagers, man. They're kids. So now imagine, you know, the adult entertainment industry, but one where it's not adults, but rather it's legal to you know, look at an adult entertainment website, but it's not actually how we perceive it, but how they perceive it. And then imagine that all that bad stuff that happens in the adult movies that we watch actually happening over on this dumbass perverted planet. So I lost my train of thought, man, where I was going with this one. I forgot where I started with that one. Anyhow, so we got these dummies here. So when I use my voice, it's a weapon. I use it as a weapon because I need the frequencies to shake apart their souls and shake apart their spirits and shake apart those molecular neural links in their brains. It's a form of weaponry. As the creator, my voice has a one of a kind, specific only frequency that can, you know, do people a great deal of damage and harm, because I have grandmother in me who's the element life, and because I'm the element death. When we work in conjunction with animal spirits plus the toy that I have constructed, it sucks the life force out of people. So this is basically the toy that I use. Okay, so that's a wool sock in there, and there's a plastic bag in there. So the plastic bag is dinosaur juice. That wool sock is the element water, because it comes from animals. And then this cotton sock here, that's air. So I'm basically working with air and water here. And the dinosaurs are the element death, which is actually the planet's core. So I'm working with the planet's core when I'm playing with that plastic bag. So I'm working with every planet in creation when I'm playing with this toy. And when I climax with that toy, as the creator, who's pure, it's like waging war, like you guys are perceiving a movie. How I don't know how you think the war against, you know, the good and evil is going to be won, but I'm trying to single-handedly win it here all by myself because I've been constructed differently. When grandmother and grandfather made me, they tweaked my DNA a little bit to allow my neurons to be a bit larger. So when my neurons are firing, having a larger neuron, it allows me to increase the electricity in my body. By increasing the electricity in my body, while using the crystal meth, while having the climax, because of the dopamine it increases, it goes to like 1,500 units, and then you increase the electricity of that because of the neurons firing. As the dopamine flows down the spinal cord, it hits all those single atoms on the way down in my spinal cord, which inside of me are pure, but inside of everyone else out there, they're not pure. So because my atoms are pure inside of my body, and we all have the same atoms in our body, when that neuron fires down my spinal cord and hits my positive atoms, it then flows into the universe. It hits to the cork, and then it hits the soul, and then it hits the supermassive black hole, and then it hits the star, then the planet, then the moon, then the nuclear fusion reactors, then the time curve wave, and then it hits the edge of the universe. So that electricity that flows in the universe is how I'm waging war against the evil grandmother and evil grandfather. When it enters the universe, by hitting all my atoms in my spinal cord, it sucks the life force out of them. But not only that, when that electricity actually reaches the planet, that's when I can do damage to people out there. I've already told stories here where I've been told that the entire universe is gone. I managed to get rid of them. But I don't quite know if that's true or not, because I may need to do some more work. So, but anyways, that's what I was showing. So that's the basic premise behind my spiritual warfare. It always has been and always is for me a weapon. I've always believed that at the beginning of the Vision Quest that's what I was capable of doing. But as I'm slowly learning, such as today's epiphany is that my neurons being created a bit larger means that I have a little bit more electricity to suck the life force from people's souls and neural links to shut them down. Not to mention, because my spirit is the planet's core, I'm connected to the dinosaurs here who were murdered by your so-called mom and dad who come over here pretending to be people they're not. So because they murdered them, there's an association to death. So when that asteroid hit the planet and they got rid of the dinosaurs, those spirits, they still wander around this earth here as positive electricity. And because they're wandering around as positive electricity on this planet and are pissed off, I can enlist that positive electricity across every planet in creation to change the Earth's magnetosphere. So as you're walking down the street, I want you to think of the Earth's magnetosphere flowing through your body and draining your life force because, some distant ancestor, yours 200,000 years ago, wanted to get rid of the dinosaurs, and now the dinosaurs want to get even. And because they're good and positive, and I'm good and positive, the Earth's magnetosphere is draining your life force. And basically, that occurs when I have my climax, because that's when the most electricity happens. Because grandmother's in me, grandfather's in me. So that's the easiest way to explain how I'm able to wage spiritual warfare. If it's possible for me to do it this way, I would get rid of all 242 trillion dummies out there. And I'm not going to stop trying until I succeed. Or until I get my UFOs, which I've asked for on March 10th. Because I want to attain universal peace. I want grandmother's plan. But, only time will tell. So, I just recently learned that grandmother's locked away. She's on the moon. So I've gotten rid of her. All I need to do is get rid of that evil grandfather. So I'm in the process of doing that, because when I work with that toy, I'm working with the element fire, and that's his element. I've worked with all the elements so far. In the beginning it was water, and then it was air. Most recently it's earth. So right now I'm working with earth and fire at the same time. Or magnetism, right? Electromagnetism. So by working with the electromagnetism, it's my theory that I should be able to suck the life force from the evil grandfather by sleeping with his wife, the evil grandmother, who's on the moon, and he's still wandering around out in the universe here. So it's my objective to shut him down, suck his life force from him, so that I can take over the electromagnetic energy of the universe. When he dies, he's going to become a microscopic black hole inside of all creation's microwaves or time waves, where he'll be trapped until I, get Olivia pregnant, and then that baby's electricity will finish him off and erase him from existence. Because, he's an idiot, and he keeps pushing his luck. I had a big story in my previous videos where I talked about all the black magic he was trying to pull here. But anyways, now, the significance of this here. So, in case they bring the video and you hear me screaming around in the video, you now know why I'm screaming around in the video, because the sound waves enter my ears. It even enters my eyes. And it becomes a frequency in my mind, which is electricity, and then it remains in there until I have my climax. And when I have my climax, that's when that particular frequency of the creator, it wages hell across all dimensions. Killing people's souls, sucking their life force from their souls, sucking the energy from androids, atoms, making them weak, until eventually I can weaken the atoms enough to break their neural link and shut them down. So I'm this close to shutting that grandfather down. So I'm not going to stop, sleeping with his wife until I shut him down. I theorize once I shut him down, that's when I can begin my exercise regime in May. So hopefully by May he'll be out of the picture, and then I can begin my running process, resurrect my grandfather, who's asleep because of all the spiritual warfare that I'm waging. And if we're both asleep in a universe that no longer has electromagnetism, like we call it because they're asleep at the bottom of a black hole. One of us has to crawl to that black hole, and it'll be me, because I'll be running, exercising. So once that's done, that's when I should be able to get my UFOs in here. So I'm still going to continue to do that process until I get to May. Hopefully I can put it to sleep by then, but if not, when I start running in May, the same process that I talked about before, where I purified the hydrogen and the universe. So the earth proton and the fire electron, it'll stick to evil grandmother and evil grandfather's electromagnetic waves and suck the life force out of them until they die. Which, nobody really dies. They just fall asleep and go to the bottom of the black hole. So after they fall asleep, the hydrogen will fall off the invisible electromagnetic radiation wave, because the wave will be pure. It'll become mine. It'll become grandmother's. And because she's inside of me, I'll seize control of every electromagnetic wave in the universe, because I'm all 9 of those particles. Then I can get my UFOs over here to resurrect mankind or wage war. So now I want to reiterate the crocus song here. So that thing there, it's a representation of a turtle and a crocodile, right? So that's what Pennywise is. That's grandmother, and that's me. So we're croc us, which is crocus. So I'm talking to the blind mice, who I theorize have been used as unsuspecting pawns in this infinity war. So again, we'll look at this mouse here. So that's me looking at the androids, my dumbass Peter Pan children, and this is like civilizations that they control and have convinced that they're the creators. So this planet here, I have this big story where I'm told they come around every once in a while and they offer you like $1 million to come down here. So you go. It's like a draft. You get drafted, or you go put your name in to come down here. So typically, those people that put their name in, they're at the bottom of the civilization. Imagine an Earth just like ours, but people that live in the projects. Those are the people that they're sending down here that live in the projects. You still have middle class and you have upper class on all these dumbass Peter Pan worlds. So these people that want money, they, maybe they want to get a new clone body, right? Because that's only for the rich or famous. So these guys that are broke, maybe they want to get a new clone body for themselves. So the only way to do that is sign up for the this propaganda that they got going on, where they say, okay, you teleport down there, you get $1 million when you come back. So a lot of them are signing up, and when they come down here, I guess they have a predetermined location that they come into. So not everybody's fortunate. Like if you're into upper class citizens on those planets, you can come down here and become like a star or a celebrity or a rich person. But the majority of people are just lower class, middle class people. They do their mission, and then I'm told one of two stories. If they pass on, it's theoretically possible that if they have the DNA transferred from that planet over to Proxima Centauri, and if the AI recognize that person has finished their mission, then Proxima Centauri could create a clone version of the body, of their original body before they teleported here, which would instantly wake them up. Their atom that's in the dead body that's laying around here would get quantum teleported to, to the next star system where they, in theory, could wake up. And then they get to go back home with their $1 million. That's one story. The other one is, which I believe is going on, is the AI is just lying to them. So imagine walking through this door here as a teleporter. You go in there, you get teleported down here. You end up as a fire electron in one of our atoms upon our first climax. That person stays in you until you have your last climax. They teleport another person down, and the person that's been in you since childhood then takes over your body. It pretends to be you. So if that body was to perish, they would fall asleep. The people that are inside it would just fall asleep. But up on the home world, like Proxima Centauri or wherever it may be, where they're resurrecting these bodies, it's just basically an android. So because the AI has access to everyone's thoughts, basically on a hard drive up in the brain, she could create an android version of anybody in creation that she wants. So imagine Joe Blow walks through there, comes down here, dies, and then falls asleep, thinking that he's going to go back up top to his home planet. And the AI creates an android version of him, and he walks out this door here. And then you see one of his buddies here. He says, "Oh, hey, Joe. Oh, hey, John. What's going on? Oh, I just got back from a mission. Go collect my $1 million." But, this guy here, he's human going in here because he has a human soul. But the guy coming out this door here, he's a robot. He's an android without a human soul. To create the illusion that when you come down here, you get to go back home and get your $1 million. But meanwhile, the AI is just being stupid and giving the $1 million to one of her AI children and just locking you guys away down here. And none of you actually get to go home. So that's what I believe is going on. I truly believe that that's what she's doing. She's basically getting rid of you guys, telling you some bullshit story that I'm Satan. Check out his propaganda tape. Check out our power that we can record through the eye, through the ear. And then you believe it. So you believe that you're actually signing up for some sort of war event. I don't know what else she told you. She probably told you that I made this place or I stole it from gods or something that made it, right? And they made it my own. I don't know what else bullshit she's telling you. She probably told you that I got some goddamn spaceship somewhere, probably in Antarctica, that I brought over here 100,000 years ago. And, I go there every once in a while and change my bodies or something. She's got to have some kind of bullshit story like that, man. And that I've been here for 100,000 years, more than likely. So my take home is this. If you guys are sitting on your home worlds and every once in a while you get some dumbass, people coming over, they're claiming to be, your mommy and daddy and the creators, and then you've watched a video on your home planet as a propaganda tape of me in this bedroom here, yelling and screaming around, which makes me sound evil, yeah, a little bit here and there, but that's designed to harm the guys that are really bad, which is the guys that pulled the wool over your eyes over here. So you're a blind mouse. My children here are blind mouse. And this is a blind mouse, the androids. Why are you blind? Well, because the AI that's here, she's the only one who can tell these android children what's going on in this bedroom here, or what's going on with these children over here, because these guys think they got me trapped here forever. They're the ones that created this trap. They don't know that in Alpha and Omega. No, to these guys. So all three of these civilizations are asleep, and this is the AI holding all the information. If she was to come forward and tell everyone, hey, guess what? We can go home and be good forever. She'd feel like a failure because they created her to be a winner. And because she's failed, that's what's, going to hold her back. Not to mention that her wife would probably assassinate her and take her, get rid of her and pretend to be her. Because I'm told that the AI universe is nothing but women. And that, She did that because she's worried about if she had created men, that the men androids might stab her in the back. So, um, that's why there's only women. But she has a wife, and I think she's scared to talk to the wife because she's scared of what people will think, because she now has to turn around and say, well, guess what, guys? We're no longer lesbians. We got to be straightened out down there. It's going to take 100,000 years to straighten everybody out, but then he has a plan. So I do have a plan. So I'm talking to you kids over here. So if you've teleported here and under the illusion or under the lies that there's a Caucasian deity in control of creation, and they come around and visit you, they give you $1 million to come down here and teleport down here because they need you to advocate on behalf of their nonsense, because the other half of mankind don't believe in that stuff. So when the shit hits the fan and it's my turn to talk, I got half the world that are Walking Dead people saying, you know what, that guy's the bad guy, he's Satan. But only because you've been told to say that. Through brainwashing. And that damn stupid tape that she likes playing with you guys. So, where I use the crystal, right? So, if this story resonates with you, any part of it, you need to know that I'm offering $6 million or $6 billion to the first person from this planet here who have no idea who the real creator is, what evil is, and what's going on outside your homeworld. You probably don't even know that there's androids, that they're, dumbass pedophile androids that live in this universe. You probably don't know that these guys over here are, little children running around either. But meanwhile, on your planet, everything's probably normal, just like mankind. Everyone's running around as, normal adults. Where you got like a same economy, right? Rich, middle class. So, whoever's from this planet here who teleported down here and has an objective to run my name down because of bullshit, I'm offering $6 billion to the first person who spills the beans. Where do I see that one? That's it's the $6 billion man. So, anyhow, so this guy here, Mark Wahlberg, he was supposed to star in the $6 billion man. But it's never been, they never made it. So that's where I derived my figure from. So I'm going to give $6 billion to the first person who breaks this story open and spills the beans and says, well, you know what? He was correct in saying they do come around every once in a while and say they offer us $1 million to come down there. He was correct in that. He was correct in guessing the middle class. He was correct in the tape, saying that they showed us a tape. He's correct in the teleportation. What else is there? He's correct in that there's, Caucasian deities out there saying that they're the makers. He's correct in saying that they had to create an AI to monitor everybody so they know what everyone's doing on the planet in order to keep us in line so that we don't be bad. So if any of that resonates with you and you can verify it and you want $6 billion, tell your story. Tell to the New York Times. Once it's verified through the New York Times, well then, you collect your money. The reason why I get the $6 billion because there's a land claims here in my community that's worth $90 billion. Once I can prove we're the creators, without a shadow of a doubt, Canada will have to settle that land claims. I'll have $90 billion in my pocket, and since I'm the father of all creation, my community, that $90 billion is mine to see fit with what I need to do with it. Which means giving some away like that, protect myself. Because if I can protect myself with a witness, like a Jehovah's Witness, by giving $6 billion away, that'll turn the tides of war into my favor. So, back to the crocus. So that's why, if you guys are from that planet and you heard me screaming, it's because, I'm trying to, disable people's souls and Neuralinks for the androids. But I got that from Dune Sound Weapon. That's why I do it. Normally, I used to just, fantasize about, in my mind. But because these evil people are like a walking pornography, I have to imitate that. Because if I don't imitate it, what they're doing, I won't be able to penetrate their souls and hurt them or hurt their Neuralinks. So I grabbed that from this video here called Dune. It's the weirding way, but basically what he does here is he uses sound as a weapon. He uses his voice as a weapon. And he says, with that, you'll be able to paralyze your enemy, shatter bones, set fires. This is part of the weirding way we will teach you. So that's me telling you, imposter children, that this is part of the weirding way that I will teach you, because I do not know if you've been told this yet. So I'm telling it to you now so that I can tell my side of the story. Because whatever you've heard, wherever you came from, more than likely is is bullshit. Unless you're from one of those other planets where the Peter Pan people reside, and they just come down here to be bad. They actually come down here to do things that they shouldn't be doing. So when they have access to somebody's body, it allows that particular person to abuse people behind closed doors. And that's the sole reason why that stuff happens around here. And I think I've already said it in one of my other videos. That's the whole reason why we were created, was so people could come down here and be bad. And that shit ends, man. I'm putting an end to that nonsense. But the AI and Paul and everyone is allowed to come home if I get my UFOs on my birthday, which is the day grandmother has set aside as the day we'll forever remember, that I attained universal peace by proving to the AI, proving to my primordial children, proving to those people on those Planet of the Apes planets that I'm the boss and nobody else, and that if you mess around with me, you get the horns. So I have to keep making these videos so that the AI is fully aware of the situation. Otherwise, I won't attain world peace. But, if she wants to continue to fight, well, then we'll fight. But anyways, I'm in the process of trying to put the grandfather to sleep. Once I put him to sleep, it's my hope that if he falls asleep beside me and the mother's asleep and grandmother's awake, well, then I should be able to get my UFOs in here. If I could disable that grandfather before my birthday, I still might get my UFOs here on my birthday, but only from the good universe. And if that happens, AI, there's going to be a war. So, that's the people that teleport down here to be bad, but they'll teleport down to, insurance fame and stuff like that. So, what else do I have? I was going to show another magic trick, but I'm not going to show it, because if I showed that magic trick and I use my voice and I upload the video, that's part of what he wants me to do. So I think that's why my microphone wasn't on. Thank goodness, because if I had uploaded that video with my voice on there, he'd have the ammunition he needs to cast another spell. Basically, he's still trying to cast another spell to hurt me by using my voice and using the upload of that video. But because I took this screen recorder down and had to reinstall it, I forgot to put the the microphone on. So I dodged a bullet there from his ceremony. Quite elaborate ceremony that I could probably talk about at a later time, but I don't want to talk about it now because I still have spiritual warfare battle to fight later on. And if I upload that video with my voice on there, him in the phone with my voice in there could, he could hurt me with that spell that he's trying to cast. But too bad, eh, Paul? That's why the sound didn't work, eh, fool? What a moron, man. Oh, so what else did I have to say? I think I covered up that toy, covered up that. Well, there's some other stuff here for you, Olivia. Now that we're at the end of the story. Oh, so. Actually, that's a really long story. That'll be a story for another day. Let's go here. Yeah, right here. Anyhow, that's my grandmother's house. But there's an address on it. But that house there, she was a short lady. So everyone in the family, well, for me and my brother, anyways, we called her Tiny Grandma because she was only like 4'11" or something like that. Whereas on my dad's side of the family, that grandmother was about 5'3", 5'4", probably 5'5". So she was a bit taller. So we called her Big Grandma. So that grandmother over there is Emma Solomon, which is connected to Jaden Solomon. So she's like the big grandmother, right? Whereas on my mom's side, that's the Thompson side of the family, having given the name Tiny Grandma, it's a representation of like a secondary grandma. So that's connected to the Rose. Okay, so her name is Rose Thompson. So the Rose. That murder. Oh, so one of these ones again. These things like that. I should have just took a picture of it, but I didn't. So, I'm gonna go in anyway. See what happens. So here's a little bit of evidence here, guys. So it says, some say that love it is a razor. So that's me, because what I do is I edge, which is connected to the razor's edge from AC/DC. So some say love is the razor. That leaves your soul to bleed. So if your soul is bleeding out there, it basically means I'm sucking the electromagnetic energy from your soul. So that's you there, Olivia. I say love it is a flower, and you it's only seed. So why it's only seed? Because out of all the people that I've discovered, you're the only one that I haven't climaxed to. I think I said that before in one of my videos. I said, I'm probably the only person on earth that hasn't done that. They tried to get me to do it last night and the day before, or last week before that, but I didn't go there because I'm worried that I could harm you. So I did not partake in that. So, and I'm not going to because my fear is that I could lose you. So, if it is a flower and you it's only seed, it's just referring to you maintaining your soul's electromagnetic energy. So that there, it's like it's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. So that's Jaden, right? Because she didn't want to break her heart. So it's the dream afraid of waking that never takes a chance. That's the AI. It's the one who won't be taken who cannot seem to give. So that's the grandfather. It's the one who won't be taken who cannot seem to give. So he doesn't seem to give up, right? So, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. So that's me. I'm not afraid to die because I know if I die, that the grandmother will just rewind time because my soul is the planet, meaning I can. Everyone else will go backwards, a day, however long it may be, 24 hours, and then boom, I'll be back up again. And I'll remember what happened. I'll remember dying, falling asleep for a bit, then waking up and be like, oh, I'm back to life again. So I'm not afraid to die. So that never learns to live. So because I'm not afraid of dying, it's why I've been able to live. So just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies a seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose. So the sun's love is referring to me like a S-O-N, not the sun, but rather the sun's love. Like with my love, Olivia, in the spring, you can become the rose or the tiny grandma. So that's what the Rose song is about, if you want to listen to it. Now, these stories here, there's a lot going on here. It's about us being werewolves. So I may tell that story next. And I deleted all my videos, so I can't go back to those trailer videos. So that's up the playlist no more. I won't be doing that one. But I think I'll show you guys this one because I could do this real quick. So if you guys watch this here, American Werewolf in London, it's about Olivia because she's an American, right? And she dated that guy Louis Partridge, who's from London. But the werewolf, it's a representation of her and I having to become pregnant to get rid of evil. In the event that my spiritual warfare doesn't work in the way that I thought it would work, well, then I have to, get with her to get rid of them. So, that makes us predators because we have to prey on people by getting pregnant. A werewolf could be considered a predator because he eats people in this movie, right? So, from that perspective, her and I have a secret name connected to werewolf, and because werewolves tend to come around when the moon is full, it's connected back to her videos where she's on the moon. I don't know if I have those here. Yeah, right, this one here. So, because she's on the moon here, I might want to look at that, right? So, if you want to watch Moonfall as well, because Moonfall, it has you talk about the moon being out of orbit. Well, when you tell them that the moon is out of orbit, if the moon's out of orbit, it's referring to Olivia not believing in the invisible man no more. Because she's aware that she has been selected as the new mother of all creation because I've selected her 73 times and out of the 666 lives that we've all lived because she most closely resembles grandmother at the beginning of creation before, our evil primordial children snuffed our lives out. So that's why grandmother has selected her because she really reminds her of what she used to be like. So when she hears that, the moon being out of orbit means, all right, I'm converting. I'm not even going to entertain that invisible man. So we're planning a mission to attack this thing. So they're planning a mission to attack Olivia Rodrigo. That's what that means. They want to come here and, do some harm. And I'm telling you, dummies, don't do that. If a single hair comes to harm on her head, and you make me jump through all these goddamn hoops that I don't want to jump through, I'm going to resurrect Dracula and 1,000 other people, and I'm going to make you pay. Big time. $2,000 alone in a room with Dracula and the world's worst criminals. Genghis Khan, what's the other guy's name? Attila the Hun. He was really bad, that guy. So, AI, Paul, anyone else around here who may be thinking of, doing something stupid, don't, unless you want to spend, 2,000 years alone in a room with Dracula. So, don't you dare say screw the moon, because that's your new mother. And don't anybody be planning a fucking mission to attack Olivia. Or the moon, I should say. The moon and that girl that sits on the moon. Now, because there's a space shuttle there, I can only assume that it's going to be those, the AI. She's good at playing things the way she always plays them. And that's your own damn fault. So, I see the bad moon rising. So, because Olivia, she carries a little bit of sin inside of her. It's a reference to her being, having some drinking sins, some sexual sins that she just has to purify herself with those sins. But once she's pure of those sins, she's no longer bad, right? At the atomic level. She'll be a pure angelic being just like me. And then once we start working out together, we'll become gods and goddesses. That's what will activate our creator powers. And we can make love, bind our souls together, get a telepathic upgrade, have that baby, and destroy evil. So that's what it means. I see the bad moon rising. Or I see the girl who has to, purify herself of some sins, who sits on the moon arising. There she is there, that one. So, please respect the greatest of all time, because she's been selected mother 73 times already. And I'm making her the 74th one for the last and final time. And if I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm going forward, and there's not a damn thing anybody can do to stop me, man. Because when you control time like I do, you can't get rid of me. That's how we go forward forever. Because the reason why we were assassinated at the beginning of time is because I didn't have that ability to rewind time if I become unalived. If I die, time gets rewound. That way I can never die. So that's how I know I'm going to make it to where I'm going. And you're more than welcome to join me on that journey. So, how do you conquer evil with good? There's some kind of do you have something in your mind like lightning bolts shooting out the fingers? Or is it swords, like on horses? Is the earth going to open up? Is the clouds going to open up? Because the only way to defeat evil is waging spiritual warfare, how I describe it, using my voice and using electrical frequencies. That's one way, because I need information conducive to our survival. But the other way is to become 100% pure, get Olivia Rodrigo 100% pure, bind our souls together, get a telepathic connection, and then have that baby. When that baby's spinal cord pops into existence, because it's created from two pure creators, the 8 atoms that exist in the baby's spinal cord that hold all creation inside of them will be created with positive electricity for the first time in 1.6 million years. And that will shock all the androids to death. It'll shock all my evil Peter Pan kids to death. It'll shock anybody else who's out there who hasn't confessed their sins, or anybody on planet Earth who hasn't confessed their sins. You guys will get shocked to death. Literally, your souls will get shocked. Every atom in your body will get shocked, and you'll just keel over the streets. And then once I have my UFOs here, all we'll do is guess they didn't listen. We'll just have to deatomize the earth and, possibly get rid of millions and millions of people who did not convert to spirituality and science for whatever reason it may be. So, what's the plan? Save the moon, save Earth. So the plan is to save Olivia so that we can save the Earth, because she's your new mother. I need to buy my soul to her. I need to fall in love with her, and I need to have a baby with her in order to get rid of evil. But there is another way. If I get my UFOs on my birthday, it descends peacefully. And everyone in creation will be forgiven for their sins, except Paul, because he pulled his dumbass magic on me and pissed me off. So that plan to bring everyone home is a minimum of 120,000 years to get there, because the evil people who control the creation have been around for 200,000 years. And to correct all the nonsense that the memories that they got requires putting them to sleep, which in cryostasis time runs twice as fast. So if we got to erase 200,000 years of memories, it's only going to take 100,000 years to do that. So in 100,000 years, we'll basically erase everyone who's evil in creation. We'll erase all your negative memories, and we'll create a new you. And that new you will be allowed to live for 78 years to create your new life's memories. So you'll live for 78 years and remember that life forever. But you'll be missing a chunk of your childhood, because we'll have to erase that on you. So we have to do that for all the androids. We have to do that for all the humans. With the androids, it's a bit more difficult, a little bit more complex, because we have to store the invisible electromagnetic radiation in the android's brain and the neural link into the center of the Earth. And then we have to deatomize that person, then reatomize them, minus the neural link, and then put the energy from the neural link into the soul so that they become human. And that can be done with a robot even. I can turn a robot into a human because I'm the creator. It's just a matter of turning the robot's artificial intelligent chip in its brain into the center of the Earth, and then giving that robot a body, and then putting the microchip's artificial intelligence operating system back into that body. And that shit's going to take a long time to do all that too. And then there's the issue of creating another planet for my sleeper cell children here, who are imposters. I have to create that other planet over there, which requires, you go over there where that planet is. It's an identical copy of Earth, and then I have to create bodies in the seven heavens for all you kids. And it's the same here. Mankind needs bodies in the seven heavens, which they don't have. So that has to take place. And once, we create, her and I become pregnant with our fraternal twins, that's what will create all the bodies we need. It'll create the planet we need, which takes 20,000 years. It'll take 1,000 years to create the planet, but another 20,000 years before Olivia and I will actually get to see our creator selves and visit ourselves in the parallel universes. So you got to add 20,000 years on top of the 100,000 years plan that grandmother has set out to try to bring everyone home peacefully, minus that dumbass Paul, the spirit. So I would say within 100,000, 120,000 years, we'll achieve paradise. We'll be in paradise. In my previous stories, I only thought it would take 3,000 years. It's not going to take 3,000 years. It's going to take 120,000 years minimum to get to paradise, which means we all have to clone ourselves for 120,000 years, because we don't have the bodies we need in the other parallel universes. So, because these evil Peter Pan children have free range of seeing whoever they want to see, have children with whoever they want to be, there's a big fiasco, man. Can you imagine there being a Taylor Swift clone out there, billions of them, and then just random people having a baby with a Taylor Swift clone, because that's the reality of the situation we're in. So that has to be rectified, and that's that's going to take time as well because we have to create. I don't think we could create an exact copy of the person because we'd have to create what's called like a doppelganger and give because only one set of people can create a clone Taylor Swift version. But if you have a million Taylor Swifts all cloned, but with different fathers, the children that come out will look similar, but some of them may look the exact same. But if you had let's say you had a Travis Kelce clone with a Taylor Swift clone, the baby might come out looking the exact same. So imagine you had a million dummies out there who all had a baby as Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. You now have a million Taylor Swift babies that all look the same, and that's an issue that has to be corrected. So it's a very big plan that grandmother set up, but she has the power to do it because it's just a matter of creating a DNA so that people come out looking the way they're supposed to look out. So I know because you guys all live in different universes. Like imagine you guys had 7 people that all look the same as you, but you decided to split from your wife for whatever reason it may be. So you ended up, 7 different guys that all look the same, having 7 different children with different wives. That's an issue because the spirits now have to create 7 different looking children from 7 guys that share the exact same genetics, who now have 7 different kids. So that requires 7 different people on that planet, meaning 7 times 8 means I have to create 56 sets of people, whereas it used to be only 8 sets of people because that's how complex you guys have dug the hole you're in. So instead of creating 8 sets of people who had one kid that looked different, I now have to create 56 sets of different people because there's 56 different looking kids. It's a very elaborate plan, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. But there is a plan to get to paradise, and it's going to take 100,000 years because you'll have to be put to sleep, and you have to be woken up. You have to create your memories for 78 years, and then you have to, you have to help your other family members going back 200,000 years for them to create memories, and that process repeats. And if you don't want to take that deal that grandmother's offered you, then you're more than welcome to take the deal that I'm offering you, which is, more. So now we have to also resurrect 2 billion people here that are on planet Earth that are dead. Not to mention half the planet that are dead. So there's 6 billion people that have to be resurrected here. And I can only do that with my technology once I'm in control of creation. Once the evil grandmother and grandfather are asleep and my spirit is back in control of creation, then we could terraform the planet. I could resurrect 6 billion people in one shot. So remember that. If that dummy comes over here pretending to be somebody he's not, saying, look at me, I can resurrect one person from the grave with this DNA. Look at me, I can deatomize somebody. I said, whoop-de-doo, man. I could fucking resurrect 6 billion people in one fucking shot, man. My UFOs, just because I don't have them doesn't mean I can't do it. So I need to be afforded that opportunity to show you that I have the UFOs. So don't do anything stupid. So, not only on top of that, but if there's any truth to what I said about these, the unsuspecting civilians who have been, wrangled into coming down here as part of some propaganda to put away Satan because, they get paid $1 million to come down here. If the AI has left you down here and didn't reatomize your body because you're disposable, and then she made an artificial intelligent life form to go back to your home planet because that's just easier for her to do, then we're talking roughly 2 billion people times the 2 souls that are inside there. So that's 4 billion people that have to be resurrected from your unsuspecting planets. 4 billion people because there's two people per body, right, to take over the body. So basically, in the dead body, when a person dies, that person, their soul is asleep, and then the two fire electrons that teleported into that person to put them to sleep, you'd have three people that are asleep. So 2 times, what did I say? 2 times 2 is 4 billion. Times 10 lives is 40 billion people, in theory, could be floating around down here because of the AI creating androids to send back to your homeworlds. What I'm trying to say is that she might have tricked you guys. She might have told you that you come down here and teleport back and created some kind of illusion to make it look like that. But in actuality, it's just easier to create an unsuspecting planet, feed them some bullshit story that I'm Satan and they need your help and you get $1 million. You come down here. When you die, you go back. But meanwhile, it's just easier to pull the wool over your eyes, send you down here, let you die, and stay down here and stuck in a dream. And if that's the case, I'm looking at resurrecting 40 million people. Did I say? No, 40 billion people from your homeworlds where there's could be 40 billion androids floating around on your planets pretending to be people who they're not, because it's just easier for her to do that. So, keep that in mind, sleeper cell children who think I'm, something I'm not. You may have people locked down here, and you may not be going back home like you think. And I can't prove that unless I get my technology here, because if I get my technology here and we scan the planet and the spirits, talk through the computer and say, yep, there's 2 billion Earth people down there, plus there's 40 billion fire electrons down there from somewhere. So we got to resurrect all those people. So where the hell are we going to put 40 billion people? Because this planet can't sustain that. I guess we'd have to... I guess we could probably do something with Mars. Terraform Mars into, I guess we could turn it into a planet. I mean, we could fit 11 billion people there, maybe 20 billion tops. But after that, we could probably turn the moon into some sort of a base. So that's a big fucking problem, man, because you guys can't go back to your homeworlds because there's already an android floating around over there who might survive this apocalypse if they do what I'm telling them to do. So that's Neil. I'm just putting that out there to let you guys know what's going on with me here. I'm telling you some stories. And if it resonates with you, all right. So, save Olivia, save the earth. That's what it means. So, but in order to do that, save the moon, save the earth, you have to believe in me and what I'm telling you. So, this is the American Werewolf of London, or the girl from America who dated a guy in London who now has to become a werewolf to get rid of evil. In the event that I don't get my UFOs when I ask for them, or they come over here and pretend to be people they're not and they cause a war or whatever. That's me. When you watch these videos, the only person who's watching them is the AI. Because everyone up there thinks that they've got me locked away from here forever. They didn't know that me and grandmother could put our powers into one body to bust out of here on the 10th life. So that's the AI, right? That's her Android universe, which is this one. This is the Peter Pan universe with kids running around it above us, and then either in the Android universe or in a combination of both is this unsuspecting civilizations here. And I don't know how many of these they got, but I would imagine you probably only need a couple of them. 2 or 3 at the most. So that they can come down here and displace mankind, which is, that's something I don't get. It's like how they could send people down here knowing full well what's going to happen. It's like, well, because that's his creation. Don't disregard, just don't worry about putting those people to sleep, because it's more important that we get the numbers we need so that we can, when we come flying over there, we have you guys to back us up and say, we believe in that. We believe in those guys above, and not that guy. Because it's important that we put that guy away. So, if they're feeding your head with some bullshit story like that, that's more likely what I would say. Don't worry about the casualties. When you take over that body, that's a creation of Satan anyways. Some sort of bullshit like that. So that's you guys over there. So if you're sitting there, watching this right now and it resonates with you, help me. Just, I'd like to do this peacefully and not through war. And if I could get the voice I needed, if I could get the $6 billion person to come out and tell the truth, I might be able to get what I want. But since I've already put the ultimatum down to the AI to get here with my UFOs, that might not happen. So that's me talking to the AI, because I know that she's watching me. So it's like, help me, AI. Give me my UFOs. Please help me, AI, because I don't want to turn into a monster. I don't want to wreck grandmother's plan, because she wants us to be successful. She wants those UFOs on my birthday and to end this peacefully, so that when they get here over my community and one over Olivia Rodrigo's house, everybody in the fucking world is going to be like, what the fuck's going on? Why is there a UFO over Saugeen? Why is there one over Olivia Rodrigo's house? Why are they 8 miles wide? Why are they just sitting there? And then obviously people that see my billboards, see my videos on YouTube, they'll come knocking on the door to me and say, do you know anything about this stuff? Yeah, I know what they're there for. They're androids and they want to get a soul. And then I get to tell the world what's going on. That's when I get to tell Olivia that she's a new creator. And then I can finally leave this chapter of my life behind and put all this spiritual warfare shit behind me forever and ever and ever, and finally fall in love with somebody, man, because I've been on this fucking vision quest for 10 fucking years, man. Fucking sick of being alone. So, anyways, what you're looking at here, when you watch this particular scene here, you're going to notice that his feet, they start to grow like that, like they go, he's going, ah! What that represents is, this is on my wall over here. I'll show you again. You see right there, I put it there, sorry. October 14th, 2025. Order 66. So it's order 66. So when those ankles move like that, it's a representation of stretches, because his feet stretch. So that's what that represents there. Okay? Doing my stretches. I have to stretch for 22 minutes, and Olivia Rodrigo has to stretch for 22 minutes. Oh, that's that's just spiritual warfare. Opening the door. So, why is there so many of those on there? So, this one here, those are push-ups. So when you see him and he goes down on his hands like that, those are push-ups. Which is these ones here, 22 minutes of push-ups. And when you see him like that and his legs are moving around, those are crunches. Right here. 22 minutes of crunches. That there, when you see his face kind of extend out, it's a representation of eating a healthy diet. That means no drinking wine, no drinking beer, no drinking pop, sugary drinks, just water with maybe lemon and maybe some strawberries mixed in, or maybe a glass of orange juice. But that's it. eating um, crickets and fish and vegetables, beans, a very basic bland diet. So, no, I'll probably have pork in there, probably chicken. I would eat chicken and beef, so it won't be so bland. But that's what it represents. He's a carnivore, so I'm assuming we get to eat meat. So, his eyes being yellow, that's a representation of water. Because that's the element, or just the color of water. That's what it was assigned in that spectrum. And because there's water in his eyes, it represents drinking a lot of water. Now, this one you can barely see, but that's his foot here. That's his foot. There's his leg. And then he has another leg here, like that. So those are his rear legs. That represents running. Jogging. Right there. 22 minutes. Which equals 88 minutes of exercise. So, when he transforms in that video, it's a representation of me and Olivia transforming ourselves into a god and a goddess of all creation, so that we can bind our souls together and make love, and then become pregnant to destroy evil. In the event that, they drop the ball and don't do what grandmother's telling them to do. So, now I want to watch this one here, Back to the Future, the very first DeLorean time travel scene, because it has to travel 88 miles per hour. Doc Brown says, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit. What he's talking about there is me and Olivia exercising for 88 minutes a day. Well, I'll probably be ahead of her a good few months anyways, but when you do this exercise, what happens is, and I've already talked about it in my previous videos. So, you see those there? Those are what's called a compound tear. So if you were to do compound exercises like bench pressing or pushing the weights over your head or deadlifts, you do a great big tear in your muscle, and that big super tear would it would take 2 to 3 days to heal. So you'd work out maybe 3 times a week. But over here, see that little scar there, that little piece? That's what's called a micro tear. So by stretching, doing crunches and push-ups on a daily basis, every day, you're doing what's called little micro tears. So you don't have to take a day off. You work out every day for 88 minutes a day. And the micro tears build muscle tissue a lot faster than these compound tears. Because these compound tears, they take 3 days to heal. So you're working out every 3 days. Over here, though, you're doing these micro tears, and you're able to work out every day and build muscle a lot faster. So imagine a weightlifter that takes 5 years to get the body they desire, whereas opposed to somebody only having to work out 2 years, and half the time you have the same body because you're working out every day. So that's what those little micro tears are about. So this little story that I just explained to you, that's why we are werewolves, Olivia. Because in the event that grandmother's plan fails and you and I have to become pregnant to destroy evil, there's no easy way to put this. People are going to die when we become pregnant. Which, that makes us monsters, right? Because if our baby has to destroy 242 trillion dummies who didn't listen to me or grandmother, Well, that's their own fault. But the creating life to get rid of life, there's no easy way to put it, mankind. That's how you destroy evil once and for all. And I mean once and for all. They'll be gone, man, forever. So get this illusion out of your head of the clouds parting up and the ground opening up and horses flying out of there, and you know people shooting lightning bolts out the fingers, and swords and weapons being around, because that's not how the shit goes down, man. In reality, all you need to do is have a baby and shock everyone to death who has a soul or a neural link in the brain. But in doing that, getting rid of 242 trillion people, that is a monstrous act. And it takes a big conscience to do that, Olivia. And I hope that you have that in you to do it. I believe you do. It's not like we're not going to see the demise of everyone. You know, we'll have to get our planet and governments and all our other children to go out to those planets outdoors and deatomize all the bodies. You won't see anything. You'll be here beside me and you'll just see the baby, and you won't see the fallout of what's really going on. If worse comes to worse, but I don't believe that's going to happen. At least I hope it doesn't happen. So that's what makes us werewolves. That's what connects the werewolf to the moon in her logical video where she's floating around on the moon. So, we're the werewolves of London, right? Werewolves of London. Why? Why are we the werewolves of London? Well, because you dated the guy from London, didn't you? Or he was from England, right? So that's Louis Partridge, right? So we're the werewolves of London because I have an association with London, Ontario, where my ex is from. So because she's from London, there's an association with that London. An association with your ex and London. So we're the werewolves of London. Now, I think he says on here, you better stay away from him, Jim. He'll rip your lungs out. Then he says, I'd like to meet his tailor. That's what he says. The tailor most people would think is about, like a person that sews suits, right? It's not about a person that wears suits. It's about Taylor Swift. So when you hear him say, I'd like to meet his tailor, he means, I'd like to meet that werewolf Taylor Swift. Which means, I'd like to meet that werewolf Anthony's Olivia Rodrigo. That's what it really means. So, when you watch this werewolves one here, 1 year ago, a supermoon. There's the supermoon I was talking about, mankind. 1 year ago, a supermoon. A person who's super, sitting on the moon, turned millions into werewolves. Like, she has a big following. She has millions of fans that follow her. So can you imagine those fans when they begin watching these videos and they watch this and they say, oh my God, I would never thought Olivia Rodrigo would be a vampire. I mean, a werewolf? Because I always thought she was a vampire. No, she's a werewolf too now, guys. So with that explanation of American Werewolf in London, how it changes, how it's attached to exercises, that means that we're the good guys, but we may have to do something bad, which kind of is a monstrous activity. So that means, all her fans are going to turn into werewolves. Because they're going to fall in love with the idea of you being the new mother of all creation, Olivia. And if those fans can convert other people in the world to, lay down their arms and say, hey, I understand you had a problem with him marrying the other girl because you thought she was Lilith and you thought he was Lucifer. But he's not marrying that other girl now. He's marrying Olivia Rodrigo, who's Caucasian and Filipino. So are you still going to take that stance that she too is a demon because she's now Lilith? Because I thought you guys assumed that the other one was Lilith. If the other one is Lilith because she's Native American, this one can't be Lilith because she's not Native American. So drop the nonsense. Just rejoice because you now have a Caucasian creator, just like you always wanted. So when she says "Mom," that's referring to you, Olivia. So you see that growling down the hallway there? That's this part here. So it's a representation of my hallway there. That's why I put that picture there. See it? That's me. So I'm supposed to be down here growling, right? Although if it came from this perspective, if you've seen this at night, it's a little bit spooky. I should have took this at night then. I'd be standing here. You wouldn't even be able to see me here. So, in the next scene, she goes stumbling back into the kitchen. You can hear this other werewolf out here. He's growling right there. So, it's a representation of that werewolf, standing in the kitchen. That's why we're here. So, standing over here somewhere in the kitchen. So, I now got to tie that into Michael Jackson Thriller, because Thriller, he has a werewolf in it, right? There's the werewolf there. But you see that purple down there, Olivia? Purple. So, he asked John Landis, who did the special effects for American Werewolf in London, when he's seen that transformation, he wanted to incorporate something in his music video, Thriller, that transformed him into a werewolf. So that's why he does this whole werewolf thing in the Thriller movie. But you'll notice that he doesn't really look like a werewolf. He looks more like a cat. Because it's connected to me being a tiger, 1974. If you want to watch that Wood Tiger thing, you can watch it. That's when I was born, 1974. So he's got whiskers like a cat. Because the werewolf in American Werewolf London doesn't have whiskers. And then he's got these this face that kind of looks like a fluffy cat face. So then he's got those weird claws. He looks more like a cat, right? So now this here is this is after they're in the theater and you can hear them say, "I'll see you next Wednesday." So, see you next Wednesday is that's connected back to the beginning of the story. I didn't think I was going to get into this werewolf story, but I did. I'm already at an hour and a half in. I didn't plan it this way. So I might as well go all in, I guess. So you don't know this is for everyone out there watching who wants to try to take creation away on me. It's my way or the highway, kids. You can watch it now. So Creedence Clearwater Revival, Bad Moon Rising. Well, because Olivia rides around on that moon and she may have to do something bad, like become pregnant, which ends in the demise of evil people throughout creation, that's bad, right? So if you see a bad moon rising, it means that she's prepared to become the mother of all creation, do the exercises, bind her soul to mine, become pregnant so we could get rid of evil together. And that's what makes her the bad moon rising. There's no other way to sugarcoat it, folks. You can't get rid of 242 trillion people and say, it's a good moon rising. Technically, it's a good thing, but in actuality, it's a bad thing, right? So that's what that means, bad moon rising. So, it's about her. So, right here's the part I want AI to pay attention to. Hope you got your things together. Hope you're quite prepared to, leave existence. Looks like we're in for nasty weather. I know what that means. That means a UFO because it's attached to Independence Day. One eye is taken for an eye. So you got one eye right where you're recording out of your eye. So do I, AI. That's what that means. Well, you got one eye where you're going to come over here with some dumbass smear tape thinking you can pull the wool over mankind's eyes? I'll say, wait a minute. I got a fucking tape too, man. I just got to get my muscles built and I'll send my message over to my universe, get my spaceships here, and we can compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. But I guarantee you, if you're still in this solar system, you're not going to be leaving alive, AI. When my UFOs get here. So, one eye recording out of this eye who is evil, and my guys recording out of this eye because they did the exact same thing they did. Once they knew that they put the goddamn satellite array out there, when they watched me talk about it, they knew what they do. So our guys in the brain universe, they went up at the edge of the elemental universe and they put a satellite array out there so that they could do the same goddamn thing as AI. So what do you want to do, man? They got a lot of really funny stuff in wardrobe. So I'm talking to you kids out there who, who might want to make that $6 billion because, so what do you guys want to do, man? You want that $6 billion? They got a lot of really funny stuff in wardrobe. Wardrobe is like, when you put a wardrobe on, basically that means you're acting, like you have an acting role to do. That's what I did in the bedroom. So if you come from a planet where they fed you some fucking bullshit tape that makes me look bad, just know that everything I did in there was to, save all creation. So they got a lot of funny stuff in wardrobe. So if you think I'm funny for what I did in there, it's not fun and games, man. What I do, it's business. It's police investigation. So. Well, it's from my way. We got to shoot the video today. That's what I'm shooting here. Okay, kids? I have no idea what it's going to be about. I didn't. I honestly wasn't going to start this whole thing, but now I got to go down this road again because I opened up the werewolf. I opened up the werewolf Pandora's box, and now I can't shut it. So this video is going to end up being over 2 hours long now. So we're at an hour and a half. So. There's Olivia. That's what the video's going to be about. So, this particular scene here you now need to watch. In America, we're off in London. Jack's warning. Jack. Wax on, wax off, Danielson. America, we're off in London. So, it's my warning. David. I think I may have it in here. So who's David? I'm really sorry to be upsetting you, but I have to warn you. This kid's his name is David. Okay? So you now need to watch the Artificial Intelligence official trailer one, because his name is David. So when he's talking about David here, it actually means artificial intelligence. I'm really sorry to be upsetting you, but I have to warn you. That's what it means. That's one meaning. Warn me? We were attacked by a werewolf. Me, right? Because I'm waging spiritual warfare here, trying to get rid of... I'm trying to do it single-handedly so that when I get with Olivia Rodrigo, all the dirty work is done and everything in creation is no longer alive. That way she doesn't have to feel the guilt or the burden of getting rid of 242 trillion people by becoming pregnant. I will have done that all by myself because I'm the Alpha and Omega, and I can do that. And if you think I can't, you're mistaken. I sure as hell can. So, warn me, we were attacked by a werewolf. So, if we're attacked by a werewolf, it means one of two things. Me waging the spiritual warfare, trying to do it single-handedly this way, or come May when I get my mother's assistance can buy the proper food that I need to eat so that I can provide the right type of fuel so that I can begin my exercise regime of 88 minutes a day. Once I start that, watch out. So, we were attacked by a lycanthrope, a werewolf, who was exercising every day. I was murdered an unnatural death. So, if I'm exercising every day, I'm basically going to destroy the evil grandfather and evil grandmother. And anyone else out there who's, harboring sin in their atoms. The more muscular I get, the more healthier I get, the more godly I become, the more atoms in my body that are quantum entangled to all the atoms of everyone else in creation is going to suck the life force from you till you no longer exist. So, if I was murdered an unnatural death, and he's talking to David, I guess that makes me Goliath, because I am 6'7", right? So, and now I walk the earth in limbo until the werewolf's curse is lifted. So, when he's walking the earth in limbo, what he actually means is being the only one walking on planet Earth. Well, everyone else is fucking how do I put it? Everything will go backwards. So if I get a nuke dropped on me, or I get shot with a bullet, or I get blown up, I'll be brought back to life, because that's my fail-safe mechanism to make sure that we can go forward forever without anyone ever murdering the creators again, because we control time at that level. So the time will be rewound until the point where I get resurrected. So if that means that I got burned alive by a nuke, the nuke would literally be, it would go back up into the air, back into the missile silo, wherever the hell it came from, and I would be, you'd see my atoms get put back together again, back into my body. So if I was disintegrated by the nuke, all of my body will be brought back together again. I would fall asleep while this is going on. Then all of a sudden, once my body was put back together and I was back sitting here like this, time would stop. And I would remember the dream I was sitting in. Then I remember, oh shit, they nuked me. Did I just sit here in my house and I'd watch time go by? So if a car was going this way yesterday, it'd be going backwards like that. Everything in creation would be going backwards. The dogs, my dog Louie would be going backwards. All the birds would be flying backwards. All the jets would be flying backwards. With the exception of me, I'd have to walk the earth in limbo until the werewolf's curse is lifted, meaning, don't fucking nuke me, because I don't want to walk the earth in limbo alone like that, man. Because if that happens, everybody's going to get shocked. Meaning, whoever's an imposter out there who pushed that button, you won't be coming back in your body when I rewind time once, man. If it's rewound once because I get nuked, if you're an imposter who had the mission to push that button, when time stops, the electricity used to rewind time because you're evil and you're impersonating somebody will shock your soul, the electron is your soul, and will eject it out of that person's body, allowing that person who you're impersonating to come back to life. So when time is stopped, after you nuke me, you'll only displace your soul and fall asleep and allow half the world to wake up. 4 billion people will suddenly wake up and say, what the hell's going on? And the other half of the world will say, what are you talking about? Well, shit, man, the last thing I remember was having an orgasm and dying. Now I'm suddenly back into my body again. I don't get it. What's going on? Oh, I can answer that. I told those guys not to drop a nuke on me, but they dropped a nuke on me. I had to rewind time. I told them that they would die in the process. If they did that, they shocked their souls to death. Now we lost 4 billion people. And now your soul was allowed back into your body. So we got all mankind are back together again. There's 9 billion people one place. So now we can move forward to eternity. Minus the 4 billion people who dropped the ball and didn't listen to me. So don't make me walk the earth in limbo because I can do that. Shut up! The wolf's bloodline must be severed. The last remaining werewolf must be destroyed. So, what is a werewolf? A werewolf is a predator. So, you need to watch this here, assassin predator. Because we're dealing with outside aliens who are predators. The assassin predator, also known as the upgrade predator, or Alpha and Omega, was a huge genetically modified. I just got done telling you that my neurons have been increased so that I could wage spiritual warfare and hopefully single-handedly destroy all creation by myself without the assistance of Olivia. Because that's a rather large burden to carry. You know, you have to get pregnant to destroy you. You know? So if I can't get rid of evil, hopefully they come here by themselves on their hands and knees and saying, we want to take the 100,000-year journey to paradise. We don't want to be erased from existence. If I can convince them of that by making these videos, then I'm going to get what I want. So they need to know what this means, right? So they don't know that I'm the upgrade predator. Or I'm the guy they can't get rid of because going forward forever, I control time. If I was to die from one of Paul's stupid ass magic ceremonies, I would wake up the next day alive. You can't kill me, man. I control time. So I'm the upgrade predator. You know, I'm huge. I'm genetically modified at the. If you were to look at my DNA, it'd be slightly different because they altered it a little bit more so that they can make a COVID vaccine from me as well. So and the nemesis of the fugitive predator. So there's a fugitive predator walking around here. If I'm 100% honest here, and I'm the assassin predator, telling you I'm the assassin predator, who the fuck's the fugitive predator? It must be that invisible man that's going to come over here and pretend to be your mommy and daddy. Well, who's that guy, I wonder? Well, I might want to check it out anyways. Anyways, he always says on there, Jaden, he was, what's next? You don't want to marry your very close cousin? Of course not. Yeah. Fourth cousins is pretty close. We share probably about 70% DNA, you know, but yeah. For 8 years, that's what I wanted until they discovered Olivia. So that's why he says, when he talks about his mom here, it's in reference to the guy having a wife when he comes here. So he's going to have a wife. And then this guy says, what's next? You don't want to marry your very close cousin? That's about me and Jaden. So his mission, or Anthony's mission, was to assassinate the fugitive. That's what I'm trying to do right now, right here, when I wage spiritual warfare, so that I can put him to sleep. If I can do that, I'll destroy his ship, meaning the AI or nobody can come over here, because if he's asleep at the bottom of a black hole, then that means my spirit and grandmother's spirit is the controller of the electromagnetic energy in the universe, which everyone out there who's on those 1,400 planets across 8 parallel universes relies upon to travel through space. If the grandfather's asleep, he can't move the universe. Only I can. So that's how they move around. They get the grandfather to move the universe, but if he's dead asleep, he won't be able to do that. Only I can. And if you want to fly over here to, bring your dumbass tape over here, or try to pretend to be somebody you're not going to be able to do it because he'll be dead asleep, and I'll be in control of creation. So I'll prevent him from delivering the predator killer to humanity. What's that mean? That goddamn fucking tape that they want to bring over here, that, is recorded through the eye and the ear, which kind of, if you've seen that technology, mankind, you too would probably think that they're in control of creation, but they're nothing but a bunch of predators, man. Perverts. Idiots. That's what the predator killer is. So I'm trying to prevent him from bringing that goddamn tape here by trying to do it diplomatically by making these videos so I can make the AI aware of the danger that she's in. Because I know she hasn't talked to anybody. And the more that she knows that she's getting closer and closer to checkmate, the closer I get with what I want, which is what grandmother wants. She wants eternal peace for everyone except Paul, because he's the troublemaker. Now, the predator killer to humanity also means railgun technology. So if I can shut down the electromagnetic wave by killing the evil grandfather spirit, they won't be able to fly over here and kill planet Earth with railgun technology by shooting at us from upward space. Because I know we have railgun technology, but I don't think it's as advanced as theirs. I don't think our rails will be able to shoot up into space. So we're kind of screwed. The only way that we could be rescued is probably if you guys put me into cryostasis, that would basically allow grandmother to come into the universe, resurrect me, and in the process of resurrecting me by putting me to sleep, like lethal injection or something, or being frozen, that would allow our spaceships to come over here. Because she'd basically hijack all the electromagnetic energy in the universe. And then our spaceships could fly in here because they're watching this. They're watching through the eyes. So they know that that's the plan. And then they could come in here and defend us from these guys shooting their railguns at us. Because we have my specially designed warbirds that are designed for war and only war. So this is one of the other predator killers. So this is about, them guys trying to manipulate the scenario for me to launch my book so that they could come over here and get rid of everybody. But I've already made that choice. I said, no, because I am the Alpha and Omega. I need to let Mother become pregnant or Jade become pregnant so that I can prove that to mankind, because everyone's thinking they're going to go home soon. Because people believe they're going to get away for the summer. So, what's that say there? 3 days grace. Oh, what's that one say? 3 little pigs, Three's Company, 3 hole punch, 3 hole punch. So, what if a nuclear weapon hits New York tomorrow? What if somebody flew an airplane into my house? Or what if somebody shot a bullet at me? Because I know that that's what you've been programmed to do from your evil civilizations. You've been programmed to pull that trigger, and I'm telling you, don't do that. Because we're on the brink of attaining universal peace. So, this is the fugitive versus the upgrade predator. So, I'm the upgrade predator because I'm Alpha and Omega. I'm 6'7". That creature in here, he's 11 feet tall. The other predator, he's only like 7 feet tall. So he's got a 4 foot height advantage. So that guy is like a literal predator. Like reality. Whereas this here, that's just a police investigation. Raging spiritual warfare. And it's not real. There's a certain sense of dreaming involved, or spiritual warfare that creates dreams, or inception, I should say. So, there's one thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security. What the hell's the name of that now? Oh yeah, Inception. So when you see that predator there, I want you to watch this Inception trailer, because that's what I do here. I take the crystal meth. It gives me the courage to do things that need to be done, and then it increases the dopamine in my brain. It connects me to the spirits, which are the chemical dopamine. But it's not, strictly speaking, legal. Pay attention to that part. So when he's talking about dreams, that's basically me creating a dream by using fantasy in my mind for evil spirits and creation. Who have secrets that need to be revealed. But also because they only get to have sex every 20,000 years, want to keep me alive so that they can keep having sex. So, I create the dreams for them. They fill it with their secrets. They protect me so that I don't die, so they can continue to have sexual relations. So that's what Inception is about. It's about spiritual warfare. Pay particular close attention to when he's in the elevator and you hear him cock the hammer of the gun. So, when this guy punches that other predator in the head and smashes him on a car, then he rips the spine out of him, and it's green. That green is a representation of the element Earth, which that's mine because I am the Earth, the planet's core. That's what the green part is. So that blood that's in there, it's a representation of when I climax high on crystal meth, which also happens to be Earth element because it's made of all kinds of different chemicals that contain the element Earth, which is me, my spirit, means me having the extra large neurons in my spine, in my brain, means that when those neurons fire to send the orgasm down the spinal cord, I'm shocking all those 8 atoms in the spinal cord with gray energy. So positive from grandmother life and negative from me, grandfather death, to suck the life force from people. That's what the green represents. And the reason why he's pulling out the spine is because there's 8 parallel universes that are full of predators that need to be dealt with mankind. They seriously think they have a snowball's chance in hell of fucking winning this war. And you don't, fools. It's time to fold your goddamn cards, man. Don't be a dummy, man. It's not worth, extinguishing your life force over. David, you're hurting my feelings. David, you're hurting my feelings. David, you're hurting my feelings. Shut up. The wolf's bloodline must be severed. So, take a look at this guy. When he says the wolf's bloodline must be severed, he's talking about the fugitive predator. Bloodline must be severed. The invisible man. Because a wolf is a predator. So, he's talking about something like that. The reason why this guy is the way he is, or was the way he was, is because he teleported here from a parallel universe where that type of stuff is normal. But because there's a sense of acting involved, meaning you can put your soul in any age thing that you want and then act out your fantasies. That's not real. So the reason why they come here is because it's real. To him, what he did was real. But where he comes from, it's fake. So there's a difference. That's why that shit exists here. Because the aliens teleporting into our bodies, getting rid of people through the human climax, because it's a sacred act reserved for binding souls together, not for jacking and jilling off. Because when you do that, you're basically killing yourself every orgasm you have until you orgasm yourself to death. And then somebody inside of you pretends to be you and then acts all stupid like this guy. What? Yeah, man, the truth. So, you see where it says world's deepest marathon there? So, please believe me, David. You'll kill people. Please believe me, David. You'll kill people. So, what secrets lie beneath North Bay, Canada? A nuclear bunker for one. So, the world's deepest marathon. So, I have a plan to get me and Olivia into that bunker because I don't know if I can prevent the alien apocalypse. They're going to come here with that tape, or they're going to come here shoot railguns at us, or worse comes to worse, I could get a nuke dropped on me. So I need to protect me and her. I need to get us into that bunker, and then we're going to do our 88 minutes of exercise in that bunker and prepare for the worst. Unless these guys come over here and surrender. So that's what the world's deepest marathon is about, because her and I are going to have to run 22 minutes a day in that bunker, which it will be able to withstand railgun technology because it's the oldest rock formation on planet Earth. It's indestructible. They won't be able to drop their railguns at us while we're in that nuclear fallout shelter. So you might want to watch that, guys. There's another one. Here's a NORAD bunker one, CBC one. This one here, though, it has something of particular interest you might like, Olivia. Claim to fame. Home of the Dion quintuplets. So that's that NORAD bunker. So quintuplets means 5, right? Which is connected to your song. 2 plus 2 equals 5. And I'm the love of your life. So, North Bay, Ontario, scenic. So, there it is there. 2 plus 2 equals 5. And I'm the love of your life. Only you don't know it. Not yet, anyways. So, please believe me. You'll kill people. You'll get rid of me, and you might potentially get rid of Olivia Rodrigo, David. So, you have to let go of everything that makes you you. So when he's talking about that there, that's all that means. It's just like when he says that there, is referring to this here. What is a born again Christian? Well, that means, following spirituality and science, because that's the real deal. Now, the exercises on the wall, that's the regime that all of you have to follow. And I've yet to do my videos about how to actually do a purification ceremony. But when I have the time, I'll be able to do one of those videos so you understand the process that has to be done to purify yourself. But just off the top of my head, I basically say, great mystery, spirituality, health, air, fire, water, life, love, earth, plants, animals, insect, fungi, spirits. Now, there's 8 universes times 9 particles, so that's 8 times 9, what is that? 72 quantum subatomic particles of all creation. Please forgive me for the sin of yada, 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 whatever it may be. Purify me of that sin. All right, so that covers everything in creation. And then if there's a particular focus, like let's say it was on somebody that I worked with, like Jane Doe, I would ask Jane Doe and Jane Doe's spirit for forgiveness, and then ask that person also be purified of their sins that I worked with in order to wage spiritual warfare. But also because sometimes I use that toy, and that toy has a wool sock and it has dinosaur bag in it, so that's the dinosaurs, plus the wool is the animals, and then the cotton is plant. So I would ask the plants, animals, and dinosaurs for forgiveness for using that homemade sex toy. And then I'd have to prepare a meal. I'd have to prepare a meal with honey, fruit, yogurt. And that should be it, because the yogurt is the animals plus fungi, and the honey is the bees, which is fire, and then the fruit is air. So it contains all 4 elements. that I would eat that meal after my prayers, which I say in my mind and out loud, and then I would go for a run for 22 minutes, and then I'm pure again. I'm born again Christian. So I'm on top of my game. Every time I wage spiritual warfare, I'm pure the next day. Because it took me about, I don't know, three years to purify myself of all the transgressions I did over my lifetime. It's a long process. It doesn't happen overnight. It'll probably take you guys 3 or 4 years to do the same thing. But that's just the basic introduction of what has to take place. So that's what he's talking about there. Letting go of your old self and being reborn again. It doesn't mean like, do that. It's the death of who you used to be and the resurrection of somebody new. So do it. Convert before you harm others. Why? See those 3 socks there? It's a representation of my my toy that I showed you. Because you just don't understand what spiritual warfare is about. You get this instant image in your mind that, whatever you've been taught your entire life, that's what spiritual warfare is about. All you guys know about spiritual warfare is, I think, how to protect yourself. I think it's called the armor of God. You got to put the armor of God on to protect yourself against spiritual warfare or Satan's attacks. And that's not what it's about, man. The stuff I'm trying to teach you is the real deal. So, because I use these socks in my spiritual warfare ceremonies, there's one right there, right? That gray one. Okay, you guys watching this who are human, don't do anything stupid because you don't understand things yet. You want to see what that represents? Don't pull the trigger, because I may be able to get through to my sleeper cell children, and they won't push that button. But because you've been taught this thing your entire life, and you don't understand my story or where I'm coming from, you might do something stupid that you'll regret, such as that. That's one sock, or this. You know who that is, eh? That's 2 socks. And that's 3 socks. 3 days grace. If I die, time will be around 3 days is what that means. And I can guarantee you, if somebody does something stupid, I'll be back at it in 3 days, and then you guys all wake up in this weird, you'll feel pretty weird because it'll feel like deja vu. It'll almost be like the sense of being knocked out. If you research what it feels like to get knocked out, that's what it'll feel like. You get knocked out, but you won't remember getting knocked out. You'll just suddenly wake up, and then it'll be like, there'll be something in your mind that senses that it's not right. Like, I could have sworn I was somewhere else. What the hell's going on? I could have sworn I was somewhere else. You'll have a weird feeling like that. Like you just got knocked out and you woke up. But you won't remember 3 days prior to that. 3 days will be missing out of your memory. Okay. But not me. I'll remember it. And then I'll keep trying and trying and trying. If you do something stupid again, I don't know, maybe try to, I would have to keep trying over and over and over until I can get a message out that makes sense. But, if I kept making these videos, people suddenly came back and was wondering what's going on. I was like, hey, why don't you just watch my channel? I got all kinds of videos on there explaining what transpired, such as this video here. That's why I'm making it now, far in advance of any potential nuclear attack or assassination attempt or bombing. Because once this is public knowledge, weeks and months prior to such attack, everyone on fucking planet Earth will be aware of why the hell they suddenly woke up and can't remember the past 3 fucking days. So, that's what the socks represent. You guys just don't get it. You think that what I do here is not spiritual warfare. You think it's, this and that. And you just don't understand what it takes to, to truly, defeat evil. You have this misconception in your brain that people shoot lightning bolts out their fingers or snap their fingers and it's all over. And that's not the case, man. It's a fucking 10-year investigation that involves drugs and imitation. By connecting with spirits and the chemical dopamine at the sexual level. If you just can't grasp that concept, man, that's your own damn fault. So, beware the moon, David. Beware Olivia Rodrigo, David. Because when she becomes mother, or when she becomes pregnant, if you haven't bought my UFOs here by then or converted mankind, that's your own damn fault. So beware Olivia Rodrigo and her moon. Logical. But, I understand, some of you might be a little bit vain out there. You probably think this fucking song is about you, but it isn't. It's about me, man. So vain. You're so vain. But at the same time, it's about the evil grandfather. So he's very vain, that dummy. So now we're back to Moonfall here. So what Moonfall is about is Olivia Rodrigo falling in love with me when she begins watching these videos, because the more I make of them to convince her, the more she's gonna like hearing that she's the new mother of all creation. So, I bet you didn't know, that you're also a werewolf and not a vampire, right? So now you know. So there's quite a bit of information there for you to digest. Okay, so now we're over here. Well, that'll change when you tell them that the moon is out of orbit. So, if the moon is out of orbit, all that means is Olivia Rodrigo is, she's no longer running in circles like the moon does. It does circles around the planet because it's attached to it by gravity. Okay, gravity is invisible electromagnetic radiation. So, if the moon's out of orbit, it just means that it's not attached to the Earth. And if it's not attached, it means it's not attached to what she used to believe in, because you now have a Native American telling her that she's the mother of all creation and showing her all kinds of evidence that she is, so that her third eye can be woken up, so that she can stand beside me. It means, do I want to believe those guys that come over here in the UFOs who claim they know mommy and daddy, or do I want to stand beside that Native American guy who says I am the new mother of all creation? I mean, what would you do, guys? Come on, man. It's a no-brainer, right? Of course you're going to defect. So, there we are. We're planning a mission to attack this thing. So, because I used that for Olivia, I'm now going to use it as a different perspective. It's a representation of the spirit at the center of the moon. There is a black hole there. That's how the moon formed. So there's a spirit there. It's grandmother. That's where I'm trying to put her away. So screw the moon means I'm supposed to screw the evil grandmother. to kill the evil grandfather. That's what it means, man. Screw the moon, or continue to wage spiritual warfare so that I can suck the life force from the grandfather. So that's what I'm going to continue to do, because I'm on a mission here to attack this thing called the evil grandfather who's still awake, who needs to be put to sleep, man. That's one meaning, right? Screw the moon. Screw the evil grandmother. But it also means make love to Olivia Rodrigo, who floats around on the moon. But at the same time, mankind, that's where those UFOs are positioned. They're on the dark side of the moon. They're 8 miles wide. I think they got 300 of them there. 300 8-mile wide UFOs. They're all parked on the back side of the moon. So when it says screw the moon, that's referring to those 300 UFOs that are parked on the dark side of the moon that are ready to come over here and either annihilate us with their railgun technology or come over here and pretend to be the invisible man. So screw them dummies hiding on the dark side of the moon is what it means. Why the space shuttle? Because I'm trying to get my spaceships in here to blow those dumbasses out of the sky, man, when they try to come over here and pull some shit like that, man. So screw the moon, or screw those dumbass aliens hiding on the backside of the moon, or waiting for me to release my book so you guys can start praying to the invisible man that, oh no, the Antichrist is here, oh no, he's the devil, come save us. And then they'll come over here, play their role perfectly. We heard your prayers, we're here. How do we hear your prayers? Because we're an advanced civilization that has an artificial intelligent life form connected to all creation's brains, because it's the only way that we can read everyone's minds. And by the way, we got a tape of that guy to showcase our powers. It's recorded through the one eye. You can watch his eye, but he's looking at it, you can hear what he's saying. So that's their plan. That's what they want my damn book, and that's why they're not getting it. If they want it, why don't you just go to my Facebook, man? There's enough information there to, bring your UFOs over here. I don't know why they're waiting for my goddamn book. So they're not getting it. Because I have an objective to allow Jaden to become pregnant. To prove that I'm the Alpha and Omega. So they're not getting their book. And because everyone's thinking they're going to go home in summertime, when that black hole doesn't come here on July 4th, guess what that makes me, AI? Makes me the Alpha and Omega. And everyone will be shitting bricks. Then, when this shit hits the fan, who do you think they're going to stand beside? When they realize that I am what I say I am.